Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Islam Answers back here. Don't forget, guys, to like and follow and to get the notes on this discussion and the many other discussions we have. Make sure you join our Patreon. Click the link right there, become a member, and get the notes on this topic and the various other topics that we cover, all right? Now, we are continuing with our series of But If You Keep Reading, right? So here we're dealing with John chapter 5, verse 19. The Christians use this verse to put forward the idea or the argument that, look, Jesus is God or equal to God because he's saying he can do the things that God does. Therefore, look, that makes him God. But if you keep reading, you'll see that that's not the case. So the verse reads as follows. John chapter 5, verse 19 says, "So Jesus said to them, 'Truly, truly, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of his own accord, but only what he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, the Son does likewise.'" Now notice, if they would have read the beginning of the verse, Jesus already gives them some information to let them know it's not what they're thinking. Because he says, look, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of his own accord. So he can't do these things on his own, all right? So what does he mean when he can do what he sees the Father doing? Well, the very next verse, if you would have kept reading, right? If you keep reading, you would see the very next verse demonstrates and explains what he means by I can do what I see the Father doing. It is as follows, verse 20. "For the Father loves the Son and shows him all that he himself is doing, and greater works than these will he show him, so that you may marvel or be amazed." So you see here, the next verse, if they would have kept reading, shows them what he means by he can do what he sees the Father doing. It is because the Father shows him what he's doing. He can't do it on his own, as he told you in that verse 19. I can of my own self do nothing. But he can do what he sees the Father doing because the Father shows him what he does. You see? That's how he can do it. Not because he has the equal ability to do it what the Father's doing, but because the Father shows him, then he can do it after the Father shows him. And look, the verse further shows you, verse 20, further shows you that what I'm saying is correct, because he's saying, look, there are still things that I can't do because the Father hasn't shown them to me yet. So the rest of the verse says, and greater works than these will he show him. So that means there's still things that the Father has not shown Jesus yet. See? So he can only do it when the Father shows him, showing that he does not have the equal ability. If he had the same equal ability, he wouldn't need the Father to show him, and he would be able to do all the works already. But he says, no, there are still works that the Father will show him, greater than these, that you will be amazed. See? Showing that there are still things that, yes, the Father has not shown him. So he can't do them until the Father shows him. It's very clear. He says, and the Father will show him. Will, that means in the future. In the future, there's still some things that the Father has yet to show him, but will show him then. Then it goes on. Let's jump to verse 22. It says, the Father judges no one, but has given all judgment to the Son, right? He's given it to him. He doesn't have it equally. The Father has given this to him. If he were God or equally God, keep in mind, Christians think he wouldn't need to be given anything because he would already have and possess that ability in and of itself. But instead he says the Father has given this to him, the judgment, right? Continuing, verse 23. It said, and they may try to make an argument, but watch here. It says that all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father. Whoever does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. So you see, because Jesus is clearly the representative of the Father, when you don't honor the Son, you don't honor the one who sent him, right? So that's all that's showing, that you have to honor him like you honor the Father, because he's been sent by the Father. So if you don't honor him, you're not honoring the one who sent him. Just like a king who sends his emissary or his ambassador. If you disrespect the ambassador, it is as if you are disrespecting the king who sent him. You see? So it doesn't mean that he's equal. It doesn't mean that he's God. Continuing on, if you keep reading to verse 24. Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever hears my word and believes him who sent me has eternal life. He does not come into judgment, but is passed from death to life. So again, Jesus is showing that, again, I'm the representative of the sender. I'm not God myself. So if you believe on him who sent me, then you will get the eternal life. Who's the one that sent him? Clearly, that's God. So Jesus is showing very clearly that he is not God. He's not equal to God. He's the representative of God. He's the messenger of God. So if you believe on him who sent Jesus, that's how you get eternal life, not necessarily Jesus himself. Right? Then we jump down to verse 26. It says, for as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son also to have life in himself. So again, he's showing you that he's not equal to God. He's not claiming to be God, because now he again, as you keep reading, he says what? He has been granted these things. He's been given the judgment, right? He's been granted to give life. He can't do it on his own. The Father shows him these things. Not that he can do it equally of his own ability. He has to be shown it. He's been given this authority. He's been granted to give life, right? The Father granted him to give life, not that he do it on his own, right? Verse 27. And he has given him authority to execute judgment because he is the Son of Man. Once again, given. Notice how he keeps being given and granted and shown and given and granted and shown and given and given. If he were God, Christians, he would not need to be granted anything. He would not need to be given anything, because he would be himself God who possesses the power. You see? You hope that's registered. If he were God, he wouldn't need to be given anything. God already possesses all. But Jesus has to be granted this and given these things. All right? Then we jump down to verse 30, where now again everything is again summarized, and he repeats what he said in verse 19. Let's listen. Verse 30 says, I can do nothing on my own. The same thing he said at the beginning in verse 19, that the part you guys ignored. So now he reiterates it again and says it again. I can do nothing on my own. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of him who sent me. So very clear, if you would have kept reading, you would have seen that he didn't mean that he can do what he sees the Father doing equally on par with the Father, or that he has the same abilities to do what the Father's doing as he sees and says, oh, I see you do that, I can do that too. No, he can do what he sees the Father doing because the Father shows him what he's doing. He shows him. Then once he shows him, then he can do it. And as I showed you in verse 20, he showed that there are still things that the Father has not shown him. He says, and the Father will show him greater things than these. So that means there are still things that he does not have the ability to do because the Father has not shown them to him yet. He says the Father will show him. That means he can't do everything that he sees the Father doing freely and independently, equally to the Father. No, he can only do them when the Father shows him. Then I showed you how he clearly says he was granted to give life. He was given the judgment. He's given authority. But he made it clear when you get to verse 30, one more time, when you get to verse 30, he again lets you know so you don't understand or misunderstand that he's not doing these things equally, because as he made it clear, if he was on his own, on my own, I can do nothing on my own. He can't do these things on his own. He does the will of him who sent him. And the one who sent him shows him these things, grants him these things, has given him these things. But he can't do them on his own. Don't forget that. If you would have kept reading, you would have seen that. Don't forget to like, follow, and again, to get the notes on this video and my others, and from my debates that I've had over the years, join the Patreon that you see right there. Just go to my main page and you'll see the link. Appreciate it. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.